I'm Sarah and I'm 45. I love running, but I also have other things in my life that are important to me, especially my family and my animal family. My dogs, horses, cats, chickens. I love looking after them and running with the dogs. I enjoy drawing animals, funnily enough. You can see that I do farm animals as well as domestic animals. The pictures on the walls are portraits of mostly of my own animal companions. I started running in 2012, somewhat inspired by the London Olympics. I was never sporty at school or when I was younger, and I just didn't enjoy sport. But I just felt compelled to have a go at running, inspired by a few friends as well. I caught the bug. I ran to the letterbox on my first day. The next day I half ran and half walked around the block. Then I went out and bought a pair of trainers and never stopped. I started off by entering a couple of triathlons, but I found that running was the event that I enjoyed the most. I ended up doing a marathon and then kept pushing the boundaries longer and longer. Now I mainly do ultramarathon. The longest I've done so far is 100 miles. I've completed 200 milers, hilly ones, but I quite like the hills. To train for them, I just like training in nature as much as possible. Rather than go to the gym or hit the treadmill, I try to do all of my training outside. I much prefer trail running to running on the road. I quite often take my dogs with me. One of them is capable of running up to 40 kilometres if we go slowly enough and do some hiking. That's Saffron, she's great. The bits of my training that I feel I have to do but I'm less keen on are the speed work sessions. So I do go to the running track and I do interval sessions, but I don't really enjoy it. Yesterday I had to go and do 5 times 1,200 metres, pretty much as fast as my legs would go, and for me that is a hard session. It's much harder than going out and running 30 kilometres on the trails. Because I do a lot of mountain races, but I haven't got any mountains near my house, I have to go and find smaller hills and go up and down them many times. There's a hill near me, it's 50 metres high. I've been known to go and do it 20 or 30 times in a row when I've been preparing for a long mountain race. It's not quite the same, but it does work, and again, it's better than trying to do something in the gym or on the treadmill. I love cooking for my family, spending time with them. I spend a lot of time in the kitchen, so that's where they know to find me. Today it's orange soup. I'm always stirring a pot or cooking up something. That's where the animals know to find me as well. My family and I are all vegan. It was only when I gave up all animal products that I realised I'd found the way of life that I was always meant to follow. People go vegan for different reasons, perhaps for health or for the environment or for ethics, but the truth is that the reasons merge and you realise one day that you're vegan for all of those reasons. I find that eating a plant-based diet helps me recover really quickly from my hard training. I think I can train harder because my diet is anti-inflammatory. I've never gone for more than about 6 months without getting injured. Because I only started running in 2012, it took me many years to build a strong enough body to cope with all the events I want to do. I've had all the classic runner's injuries, including stress fractures, plantar fasciitis, tendinitis, runner's knee. I'm 45, but in my head I'm in my 20s, so I've had to become the queen of cross-training and managing my injuries. If I can't run, I cycle. I still seem to get injured after every very long race I do, and it takes me 2 to 3 months to recover properly from 100 miles. I'm doing a few less hilly runs and a few flatter runs to give my knees a bit of a break. I seem to be able to run fairly high mileage on the flat if I take it fairly easy, so I'm hoping that my biggest challenge this year will be at such a low intensity that I'll manage to survive it. To support all the running that I do have to do a little bit of strength work. I like to do yoga the best. That's like stealthy strength training, because it works all the little stabiliser muscles in your body, and it doesn't really feel like you're working hard, but it does really help to strengthen and stabilise your core, which is really important when you're doing a lot of running, especially doing hill work. And I do occasionally supplement it with some kettlebell training, which I really don't like doing, but I think it's good for me. This year will be a bit different. It's not about competing with anybody else, it's about challenging myself. I want to move away from the crowded trail races that I've done before and keep the trails to myself with no one else around. I want to run in nature without having people in front of me and behind me breathing down my neck. If you compete in a race, it's as much of a measure of the other competitors as it is of yourself. This year is about building goals, different goals, and it's also about understanding myself better. I'm attracted to the marathon because that's me against the clock. It's a time trial. I'm not racing anybody else. I'd also like to explore more timed format races, perhaps another 6 hours, perhaps a 24 hours on the track, to find out where my limits really lie. And I did hear about an underground, low-key race called the Kill, where competitors run 500 kilometres from the middle of France to the south. It's only held every 2 years, and there are no aid stations, there are few course markings, and there are fewer than 30 competitors. No crowded trails, just me against myself. It's a road race, so it'll be something a bit different, but there are a few hills, just the way I like it. The time limit, that's 6 days, but I'm hoping to complete it, maybe in a little bit less than that. We'll see.